and welcome to the Seated Podcast with Furniture Row. I'm Jessa, Creative Director and Design Extraordinaire.
And I'm Barb, Interior Designer and Buyer.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Seated Podcast. We are on our new Season 2 set today, and we're joined by Brittany Pillard. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we're so excited to be able to,
good conversation.
I know, to learn from people in the community, because you're Denver local, and just to have some good design conversations from new people's perspectives. So yeah, Brittany, you are the creator behind a lifestyle brand known for romantic, feminine aesthetic and timeless approach. And you've really built a community around classic style, which we appreciate. Your perspective really beautifully captures what people are calling the Grandmillennial aesthetic, and which combines nostalgia and modern living in a beautiful way. So yeah, we'll just have a good conversation about how traditional design is making a comeback and how that transitions to making a home with heart.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we think we know your style, but maybe you could explain it, to our listeners.
Sure.
What your style is.
So I do think it falls within that Grandmillennial title that so many people are using now. My style's collected and layered. I like a timeless feel, and I would say romantic as well, just with florals and textures. I like a tailored upholstery, lots of draperies. And more than anything, I think I want to create a home with character. I want people to walk in and be able to tell, this is our home. They could feel our story through the space. My husband would probably say that our home's chaotic because we have 3 small children, but I think most of the time you can tell a lot about us when you walk into our home.
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful home. The photos I've seen is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Do you have any things that you think of that really informed your design style? Like, was it your upbringing, your grandma, your mom?
So growing up, my mom was really good, I would say, at creating a house that felt like a home. And she and my dad were really into Victorian antiques. That was their passion. They would go searching for these and go to auctions and things like that. And my grandmother was really big on heirlooms, and she saved things that were very sentimental, framed things, lots of family photos around. And so I think I grew up feeling that those objects could have a lot of meaning and a lot of heart, and they also add to that character that you're trying to create in a home. And we spent a lot of time in England. My dad worked in England when I was growing up. Cool. And I think that kind of just expanded my horizons. I was like, wow, pattern drenching and the English florals and mixing some florals and stripes, but having those darker wood pieces. I really loved that. And I feel like you'll be able to see in our home, my style reflects that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, yeah. Let's kind of take a look at your style particularly, and also let's define Grandmillennial, because we've thrown that around enough. Let's define it and kind of look at what that means.
I mean, to me, I think Grandmillennial has this kind of nostalgic component. It is traditional style, but there's sort of a softness to it. You notice little things that you might have seen in a grandmother's house growing up, like this little rocking chair or the chinoiserie details, the framed prints. It has a little bit of a softness to it. And I think so many of us as millennials, we did go through the millennial gray, and everything just was a little cold.
Did
and it
you
all
go
looked the
through
same.
that?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah.
I think I've always been a grandmillennial at heart, and I liked my little treasures and organizing my little trinkets as a child. But there was one period of time we had a open concept house, and that was a real challenge for me to decorate because it didn't really feel true to me. And I leaned a little bit into the Chip and Joanna Gaines a little bit.
Okay.
And it felt very off. I could tell right away. I think it's really important to stay true to your style,
Yes.
and you'll feel when something feels right, and it just feels comfortable and easy to decorate.
Yeah, well,
I got back on track.
Right. You have to design around whatever space you're in to a degree, though, like, and transform your personal style to that space. So it would be hard to have like a really builder grade modern space translate into grand millennial right away in your mind, and it takes time to grow into. So
Were you able to
challenge.
change that home that was an open concept?
So
Did you remodel or anything like that?
we didn't do a lot of remodeling. It was kind of bought with the idea that it would be an investment and we would find our forever home later when we had children.
Yeah.
And so now that we have our forever home, we're doing more renovations and things like that.
yeah.
So it's not an open concept?
No,
Okay.
it's all the rooms are closed. It was built in the 80s and it has a very traditional, it's a red brick.
Oh, very nice.
Lots of molding and details like that. So
Yeah.
it's been fun.
I think that helps too if the rooms are defined spaces to really go in and decorate those up. It is hard when it's an open concept to like create, you know, a different environment as you move throughout the house. So
Yes.
I think it's coming back, these closed in rooms, you know, the kitchen
too.
off on its own, the dining room off on its own.
It feels very cozy, and
Yeah.
each space has an intention behind it. If it's the cozy family
Yes.
TV room where you watch movies, or it's a little bit more formal where you host people, I think it feels nice.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and you can hide things in places if people are coming over.
Yes.
So it's not just like everything's out in the open.
Yeah, that was a big thing we noticed. We had our first child, our daughter, in the open concept home. And right away we noticed she would be toddling around and there's just toys everywhere and there was no place to tuck them away or hide them. It was kind of every place was her space.
Yeah.
So now we have a designated playroom, and that's the kids area on the main floor.
Well, that's kind of a cool way to keep things
Yeah.
neat and tidy and kind of just organized that way.
I do like how you use your trays and things to keep, you know, like you were showing the picture of Gigi's room. Is
yes.
it Gigi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you put everything like on a tray so it's not like all spread out. So
Yes.
yeah, how do you keep
So-
their toys and things organized?
So I love a trinket. I love collections. I love collecting things. And it can start to feel a little cluttery. So one thing I've learned as a tray, like you have here, I especially like the silver gallery trays with the edge. And if you put a collection on one of those, it just makes it feel contained and corralled and more organized. You can also put one of those like on a bookshelf, on a dresser. If you have a tea set, put it on a tray, and it feels like more pulled together that way. I love Heron, the porcelain animals, and they can feel a little messy.
Yeah.
But I put them on these little silver trays here and put them in the kids' bookshelf or something like that, and it feels just like it has more of a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like that's a great organization tool, and it reminds me of an area rug where it kind of contains the space.
Defines it a bit.
Defines the space into what it is. So it's not just like stuff is everywhere. It's like stuff has a place.
Yes. And organizing groups of things, I think, helps. You can still have those collections or maybe heirlooms, things like that, but they're on a specific area, and it just visually helps keep things organized.
Yeah.
It probably
Less
helps
cluttery.
the children too, because if you're like, you need to clean your room, they know that these things go on that tray, or
Yes.
In
these
this
things go
place.
in this bookcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times they don't know how to clean up.
Well,
No.
these are adorable photos from your home, though, and I kind of want to
you.
just like look at more examples of how the grand millennial aesthetic plays out in your world. And you mentioned your red brick home, so
Yes.
let's kind of take a look at some examples of your creator account.
I love this house. I love that I taught my kids to ride their bikes in the driveway. I love that I slept with them in tents in the backyard. I love that we carved our initials in the tree out front. This house is warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and looks spectacular with Christmas lights. It's a great house, and I never want to move.
I love that movie.
That audio is so good, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something when I think about this term grand millennial, a lot of us think back to what home is and how home feels warm and inviting and cozy. And so many of us picture the house from Father of the Bride, right?
Yes.
And just how inviting it looked and how warm, and Nina, and, you know, it just felt like home. And so I think that's the perfect audio for walking through a house. And our house is, you know, not perfect. We have a lot of renovations to do and to go, but it's the memories that you make there and those little personal touches that make it feel so warm and special and tell your story.
Right. And it contains your life. And something else about grand millennial that I think we should touch on is it is a lifestyle. Like it's something that you can't just like move in and have it all together. Like if you move into a place, it's curated over time.
Yeah.
So I like that being the expectation that it's almost like you can set the stage as a canvas to paint on over time.
Yeah, it's
So.
very collected and layered.
Yeah, so I know we had touched on your daughter's room, but I think this is a really good example to kind of exemplify your grand millennial style specifically. And we're looking at just a lot of beautiful floral wallpaper, soft pinks, really antique looking mirrors.
Yeah, I think to me, Georgina's room is that grand millennial feel, like in a nutshell. Even down to the color palette, the green and pink, the gilt mirror, the lampshades. You can see on the edge here, there are 3 little paintings, doll paintings. Those were from my bedroom growing up. The rattan trays, everything is very feminine and soft.
Even the books, you've coordinated the colors in the books.
Yes.
It looks so pretty.
Yeah.
What a beautiful room.
Yeah, that's another tip I would have. If you're liking more of a full look and you don't want it to feel too messy or cluttery, I find that when I stick to a pretty tight color palette, like maybe 2 colors, in Georgina's room, it's mostly pink and green. There's a lot of cream, obviously, but it helps it to not feel too messy or cluttery. There's a lot going on, obviously, but because we stick to that kind of pink and green color palette, it really helps.
ties things
that's
together.
a really good idea too.
Yeah, just so things don't, you can layer a lot of pattern that way without it feeling chaotic if they all have the same color palette.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if somebody was starting in a room and they're like, I don't even know where to start, maybe select the 3 colors and just build on that.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Yeah, yeah.
I love this. I love this. Is this like an entrance area?
Yeah. Yes, this is the entry, and I love Christmas. I go all out at Christmas. It's
love it.
my favorite holiday.
Yeah, and listeners, we're looking at a beautiful entryway looking table that's antique. It's white. It's got some brass, or not brass, but like kind of
vintage.
vintagey
Is this a
gold
vintage piece?
hardware.
Actually not. That's from front gate.
Oh, okay.
But it looks
Yeah.
timeless.
It does look
Yeah, I
timeless.
love that little table.
Yeah, and
So
it's
you
got-
can mix in new with the old.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
This chair is an antique. So, I mean, yeah, I mix antique and new all the time.
Do you reupholster or do you just keep whatever fabrics on there?
That had been reupholstered years and years ago, but a lot of the time I keep the fabric if I can, especially if it's a nice antique fabric. I love that.
Yeah.
But we have some that they're in pretty bad shape and they need to be reupholstered. So we're working on that. Yeah.
While we're looking at this, I mean, obviously it's a great place to kind of sit down and like put your shoes on before you leave, or just make sure you have everything collected.
Is that a shoe basket?
So that basket, we have a no shoe house.
That's great.
And I know that's controversial.
No, I like it.
Oh no, I'm a no shoe.
Yeah.
Some people, and if we're having a lot of people over, there's a party, obviously we just kind of let it happen. But, when the kids were little, I grew up, we didn't wear shoes in the house.
Yeah.
And when the kids were little and they would be crawling all over the floor, it would just kind of gross me out to have people tracking in.
Yeah, it's like you're walking downtown and we don't know what's on the ground there, and then you come into your house and what's your plan?
Yeah.
You're just going to track that.
Goes in their mouth, And so I buy slippers from Amazon and I keep them in the basket. And there's this little sign that my dad gave me that says, please remove your shoes.
I love that.
You can ask people. I have booties in there. So if they'd rather put a bootie over, they can do that. But if they'd like a slipper, they can wear a slipper.
If they're like, I did not think through my socks today and I'm just not ready for this.
Pedicure, just put a bootie on.
Yeah. That is thoughtful. Can we talk a little bit too about your framing, your picture framing?
I love those.
Plan. How you go about that?
Antique frames are obviously so lovely. These particular frames are by a company called Elias Art Metal.
Okay.
And they were in the US, and now apparently it's a family business that is closing. The kids don't want to take it on. Oh. But they are, I think, 18 karat gold electroplate. And so they're so beautiful. The little details you can see on the little, there's ribbons and wreaths. And I am such a hound for these. Like, I will look on eBay and Etsy, Poshmark, and I buy them up because you can only get them on the
can never get them again, probably.
Used market. So anyway, that's one of my little passions. And if you like a Grandmillennial look, buying a couple of those from eBay is a great way to start. I think it adds a lot of personality.
Yeah, it's almost like you can choose. We've talked about this in podcasts before, like, if you want to splurge in an area that really makes a statement, you can have like a couple pieces that are really nice and kind of then decorate around that. So maybe it's like this Elias looking or true antique real gold frames, and then kind of find other frames that complement that well to go with it. But they will definitely make a statement and send the message of the style you're trying to create. So.
Yeah, and I think when you walk in and you see like a table, or this is actually on our piano, of all of the family photos, and especially I need to add more like heirloom photos of my grandparents and things like that.
Yeah.
It just really gives that feel of this is the heart of the home. This is continuity. This is history, nostalgia. It gives you that feeling right as soon as you walk in when you see a table like that.
Well, yeah, I've seen on your account both like as the welcome into our home thing and in the piano, which is in a central spot in your home. It seems like you have collections of photos. So you're laying out right away, this is what's most important to us. And I think not even to people visiting, but to yourself, it really creates a feeling of home to see your history and just your family every day.
Yeah. I like so too. A lot of people have moved away from picture frames and, real photographs, and it's more digital, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I love how this feels and looks, and it's right there. And it's just really beautiful. I love it layered.
It's very tactile, I think. Yeah. We have in the piano room some photo albums too. And I just don't think you can beat a photo album, just sitting down and flipping through a photo album
I love doing that too, because my grandparents still have the actual albums in their house. So being able to and they're just handy in a sitting room. So if you're kind of just, instead of a coffee table book, it's looking through your family history. a little bit, which is fun.
My
and
mom has so many photo albums. I
yeah.
remember as a kid, we would always be flipping through them, and when we go home, looking through them.
Yeah. And it's just, you can talk about memories that way. But also with frames, I was going to say that you can have multiple photos in that frame kind of behind each other and maybe swap other ones in throughout the year.
Do you move yours around in the house?
So I don't always. There's a few that I have that are seasonal, that are Christmas photos. And, you know, I really like having photos taken in the fall because we have all these old trees in our neighborhood. And that's a nice way to kind of put all the fall color into the frames, and it feels seasonal like that. But I do have some that I swap out that are moments at Christmas, the kids with Santa, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, and something in the past couple photos that we've seen or rooms that we've seen in your home is there's all these little areas that transition throughout the seasons. So it's the same general setup and room, but you kind of just zhuzh things a little to make it more seasonal.
Yeah, I love decorating for the holidays, and I decorate the children's rooms for the holidays, and it all kind of ties in with the color palette in their room, so it just kind of flows. It doesn't feel like staged or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just kind of little pieces like the pillow, the needlepoint pillow here with the nutcrackers. It's just like tucked in, a little wreath hung on the lamp. Right. They're just little additions that you can add to what you already have going on.
Yeah.
But
I like how you add these little bows too.
I love the bows.
Do you like hand
Are you talking about on the garland?
This and then on your lamp here.
Yeah, so
so cute.
The ones on the garland, I just hot glued. I bought this special ribbon and I waited till it was on sale. I can't remember the name of that ribbon. It's atrocious. I think it's from Neiman Marcus or something. So I waited until it went on sale after Christmas and saved it for the next year. And I hot glued, the bow. So you lay it a special way so that your front of your ribbon is showing 2 loops, and then you put the loop around the middle for the bow. Okay. So it's actually not a tied bow. It just
looks that way.
Looks that way.
Bow.
It's beautiful.
It'll stay
Thank you.
forever.
It's just so simple, but
and you've tied bows around little table lamps. That's the other through line I'm seeing a lot is your little table lamps.
love
you have those
yes.
in a lot of places throughout the house.
I love those lamps. So there's a couple of different brands that I've bought them from, but I buy a lot from Amazon. And I really feel like I could have 100 in my house.
Yeah.
Are these the battery powered?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you just charge them and you can tuck them anywhere.
Yeah.
And if you want to add that warmth to a space, like you could put one here on the mantle, you could put one on the bookshelf, you can put one on the table. I mean, they just feel so cozy and warm.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, like is this a coffee table where you put it on top of books?
So this is on a coffee table. And it's a hard place to have a lamp, right? Because otherwise you'd have a cord going. This is in the piano room, on the kitchen island. And one thing you can do, they come with like a kind of cream shade here. And I took the original shades off, and you can switch them seasonally or for holidays. This red and green shade is from Mrs. Alice. And so you can just swap the shade and it feels festive or fall.
Yeah, that's a great tip for decorating seasonally, or just, if you don't want your home to feel stagnant, you can always just swap out little lampshades.
Right.
Yeah, even with just your regular lamp.
Yeah.
Just change out the shade.
Yeah, you can. And
you don't have to live with the one that came with it, right?
Exactly. We always forget about that. But that's definitely an
Or add a little
option.
trim. That's another way to add some kind of like texture and layering. My mom is like a hot glue queen, and she would hot glue, some like tassel trim or palm trim on the bottom of just like a basic shade.
And it's a great way to be creative.
It upgrades it. It elevates it.
Yeah, your home really speaks to your creativity and how you've brought, every day into a magical arena. You've really, creativity can go really far in different directions. A lot of people think like creativity means I'm a painter, and so they think they're not creative, but this is a really good example of how creativity can just be part of your everyday.
Yeah.
So,
No, anyone can do it. And you can, I think people call it different things, like romanticizing your life.
Yeah.
Just making a special spot, if it's where you have your morning coffee, making that feel like really special and cozy. My parents used to say, your home is your sanctuary.
Yes.
And so you want to really make it a special place.
And
you
creating
spend a lot of time there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with your family, and creating rooms that really serve your family and your guests. I like that you mentioned the piano room because, art and music seem like something that is central to your home then, or like we want to create space for that.
Yeah.
So why do you think millennials are suddenly drawn to more traditional decor?
I think we went through that period at the millennial gray. Everything was a little like cold and everything just felt boxed to me. Like, okay, you're just going to, buy this. This is how it looks. It's very like cold, not a lot of personality.
Right.
And I do think there's a nostalgic component. Like we talked about the house from The Father of the Bride.
Right.
Just wanting more personality in our environment.
Right.
And a little bit more character in our spaces. I think there's a desire, like kind of a yearning for that. And maybe it goes back to a time when we felt really cozy and protected and safe. It was probably with some of our grandparents, right? Yeah. Or in our grandparents' home or something like that. And so I think it doesn't have to feel stale or old. It could just be something that makes you remember that time or that space. Yeah. Maybe it's a needlepoint pillow. Maybe it's your grandmother had a collection of china and you have it in your home now. Something that makes you feel, I guess, something that reminds you of your story. Right. And I think that's what a lot of us are looking for in a way.
Right. Well, for a while, I think we were so focused on sameness and just blending in and getting the box store items because we didn't want to stand out in a way that made us vulnerable or like open to critique. Sure. But I think we've gotten more as we've gotten older, or maybe our society is kind of becoming more accepting of just people being themselves. We've been more comfortable and needing to express ourselves more because we repressed that for so long with millennial
expression.
gray.
I mean, your interior, the way that you dress or the way that you decorate your home is an expression of you and your personality and what you like. And if it's a weird little collection, my daughter and I love our Labubus, and we have a little drawer in her cabinet where our Labubus live. I love that. And it's just fun. It makes us happy. It's cute. It's that whimsy. Yeah. I think a lot of us are looking for a little whimsy in our lives.
Whimsy, things that make you giggle.
Yeah.
Labubus are the Furbies of today. Sure. I always say. They'd like wake up in the middle of the night and start talking to you, and you'd be like, I got to get rid of this thing. But Labubus don't do that, so it's an upgrade.
Ours are very well behaved.
Yeah. Well, always got to appreciate that. And I really like too how, just speaking of breaking up different rooms in your house, a lot of people, I'm going to pivot, don't use their dining room a lot. And the dining room is something I do want to make sure to focus on because you really use the dining room for all different occasions. And so I kind of want to talk to you about your journey there of, how you make it an intentional place that doesn't just collect dust. How did you select the furniture that was going to be central to it? Kind of what was your ethos behind the dining room?
So a lot of people said, oh, well, this could be an office. This could be this. When we first got the house, I said, no, it's the dining room. Yeah. And they're like, you'll never use a dining room. Yeah. And I had this idea in my head that, it's a special place, right? When you come around the dining table, it's, you're celebrating something. Maybe you're celebrating a birthday, you're celebrating a holiday. Yeah. And it's a place where you make special memories. And even if you have the neighbors over and it's the weekend and you're celebrating the weekend and enjoying some wine or something, I think I think it should be used and it can be used. And then I'm hoping that someday when my kids look back, they remember that dining table as being kind of one of the hearts of our home, I should say, where we made a lot of family memories. And we use it a lot. This first photo, I believe that's Thanksgiving. And then the middle photo, I have my kids' little Valentine's Day baskets set up, ready to go. And
That's so cute.
this is like a little Valentine's party. We love celebrating in there. And you can decorate it. You know, I hang things from the chandelier, and it's just a special place.
It looks like you cut out white paper hearts with like a scalloped tool, and they're hanging from the chandelier.
And then that's my jadeite collection.
Yes, the plates.
My mom and I went around collecting that from antique shops when I was little, and that was actually in my playhouse. She let me have that in my playhouse. And I don't remember ever breaking a piece. I was really careful with it. And so when we got this house, I called her and I said, do you still have that jadeite that we collected? I really want that.
Yeah.
And we use it a lot now. The little cups are, I think it's actually a pudding cup. Okay. Those crystal cups, those are from La Cache here in town. And I think they were like $30 for the entire set.
That's amazing. La Cache is a great, what would you say, an antique store?
Yeah.
It's like a collection of heirlooms from the past, from like throughout Denver, and everything benefits the Children's Hospital. So.
Yeah, it's a great organization.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit. So,
so I tied little bows around the cups, and it just felt really feminine and special. And then I put a little Valentine cake in each one, like a petit four.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, getting crystal ware from an antique store or even a thrift store is a great move.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can find some great stuff
Yeah, they have silver, silver flatware collections there. You can get a whole set for not much.
Every city has a version of that. And something that we should talk about too with collecting and layering is not everything has to be exactly matchy-matchy. Like you can kind of mix and match as long as things are in the same color palette and vibe.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I think keeping things in a certain like color palette does help to make it feel cohesive and to kind of give it that purpose. So yeah, I really like layering. I think that's the key. My mom calls it feathering your home. Yeah. Just slowly adding or feathering your nest.
Yeah.
Feathering your nest.
Feathering your nest.
So just adding those little pieces over time.
Right.
So that'll be our new word instead of layering. We're just feathering our nest.
Yeah. If people are like, we're ready to take this photo, guys, and we're on a photo shoot set, we're feathering.
Yeah.
All right. Get out of here.
There's some feathering left to do.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of this layering conversation kind of bridges with maximalism. We have a lot of the same conversations with maximalism and how to create a collection that doesn't feel cluttered and it feels intentional still. To you, do you feel like there is a similarity between your style and maximalism?
You know, the layering that I like, and I like, you know, like I said, I love a trinket. Yeah. I like the bookshelves to feel full, and I like a lot of fabrics in a space, the drapery, and maybe something on the table and upholstery. So I think there is a little bit of an overlap, but I think maximalism can be more eccentric too. I think you could go more modern with it and a lot of saturated color. And I think Grandmillennial, that style feels a little more sweet. There's like a little bit more softness to it, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. Do you think so?
I think so. Yeah. Maximalism is just a little bit more over the top, but you could go way over the top with traditional styling and things. But yeah, I definitely do see a bit of difference.
I think maximalism is a blanket term to describe it could be a lot of different
feathering.
styles. A lot of feathering for sure, but it could be maximalist. There could be a maximalist version of a lot of different styles.
Yeah, that's a good
whereas
point.
Grandmillennial is like a very specific style, but it does have a little bit of a maximalist approach with feathering and layering and bringing in all the things that make you feel great in life into one space.
Yeah.
What is your approach? I mean, I know we talked about the trays, but with collecting so much to keep things still feeling cohesive. And I know you're switching things out for different seasons. It's not like everything's there at all times.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah.
You know, so the home might look slightly different in the fall. I love fall and the warmth and the texture there. And then I do a lot of florals in the spring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think keeping the collections to specific areas. One thing I really like is like a little cabinet, like the little corner cabinets, or what do they call them? Break fronts, the glass front.
Oh, but they're in the corner.
I mean, I like the corner ones too, but they also have like, you know,
a
the
big
glass
china
front.
cabinet?
Yes. And I think those can be really nice to add some like family photos and little heirlooms. Like we have the bell that our ring bearer rung at our wedding on the shelf, and you know, like the toasting glasses, just like little things like that. And you can put them all in one of those spaces, and then it's not all throughout your house. It's kind of contained
in that special area.
Yeah, so that's usually what I try to do with the collections.
Right. And we do see a lot of color throughout your house. And you've talked about how choosing a couple colors for each room can kind of keep it still feeling cohesive. But why do you think color is back in a big way? Because I think that's one of the biggest things that we're seeing in interior design right now is color's back.
Do you think it's just that swing from the gray? Maybe just like all the
Like
neutral.
a rebellion towards the gray.
Yes.
Now it's all color.
And I think what you were talking about, people being more comfortable expressing themselves.
Yeah.
There's a creator, she's out of New York, and she will find things like on the street that people have thrown out.
Wow.
And she loves these really bright colors.
Okay.
And it's just so her.
Yeah.
You know, I think that people are craving that personality in their decor again. You know, whether that's you like soft pastels like me, or maybe you like a bold, bright color. You know, I think it's really fun to express yourself that way.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
are craving that.
They really are. And you can use colors as a neutral. Like in here, we're using green as a neutral.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I feel like
in our
blue is
set.
a neutral.
Yes.
We did some antique Delft tile on our fireplace. And
I saw that
it feels
on
like
your
a neutral.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't feel like our kitchen has a lot of color in it.
Right.
It's just like the blue and white and cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it feels very neutral.
Well, your guest room is a great example of that too. We should show that. It's
Yes.
very blue as a neutral, but you're also layering patterns in the wallpaper.
So I like that the darker wood pieces kind of ground
They do.
the room, and then the rest of it, even the bedding, feels really airy and light, and you have this blue and white that almost looks like clouds or the sky. There's a little bit of an equestrian theme. I kind of wanted an English countryside feel to this room with the gingham and the browns.
You achieved it.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
love that
feels that
space.
way. I love your little chair here with the caster.
Thank you. That's a new chair. See, that's a perfect example. It's
Where you brought in something that
Yeah.
looks vintage, but it's new.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. And I really like, just speaking of your guest room, your ideas around making people feel welcome and like they don't always need to ask for things. I think that's something huge about hosting is
Yes.
giving people the tools that they need to thrive in your house without feeling like they're needy. So like you've included the Wi-Fi password and like
Yes.
the Netflix account passwords all framed on the bedside table.
Yes. So this little frame has our Wi-Fi information, and I feel like that's like their first question, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they get in and get settled.
Yeah.
And you can make these little designs on an app or a website called Canva, and you can make it really cute and make it tie in with the rest of your space and decide the size that you want based on the frame you have. And I think it's just like a nice little touch to have, like you said, the Netflix password, your Wi-Fi information. And then I always have some little guest slippers on the bed, and the bathroom is stocked. That's a big thing because I feel like if somebody wakes up in the night with a headache or a stomach ache, if you have everything there ready to go for them, that's really helpful.
They don't feel like they miss home. Like, oh, if I was home, I would have my headache medicine or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have water for them.
Yeah, you can do a carafe. That's Petra Palumbo. Does these hand-painted carafes. They're so beautiful. And just like a nice little touch.
Yeah.
And is this like a little ring dish over here to put jewelry in?
Yeah, so I have a little ring dish and then a coaster.
I love it.
Because, people can be really hard on the wood surfaces in a home.
Yeah.
And then another thing we have, which it's not in this picture, but a little luggage rack.
Yeah.
Because so many people just put the suitcase on the...
When I see that, I'm just like,
that's like shoes on the floor.
So, we don't want black airport wheels scuffing
on your white bedding.
Or whatever was on the airport floor. Yeah, I don't know.
No, so the luggage rack is a good one to have. You just have it all set up, ready for them so they know.
I just think a tip, and I'm sorry if you disagree with this, but people just need to know. Keep your shoes off of the bed and keep your luggage off of the bed because you don't want some random person's germs in your house. So I'm sorry, that's just a PSA from, I think everybody would benefit. I think they would. You got to adopt this.
Yes.
So, we just got to do that.
But here next to the bed, the books with your floral arrangement, again, you're using them in your guest room and it creates height, that creates warmth, and it just... That's an easy way to decorate, in a room is adding some books in a vase with flowers.
Yes. Yeah. We have, I was looking for lamps. We now have brass lamps on these tables as well. But the books are still there because I just think sometimes it's nice if somebody can't sleep and they haven't brought a book, they can kind of just... read a few pages and it just feels inviting. And like you say, playing with that height. So I have tall, skinny brass lamps there. And then the flowers on the books kind of, I don't know, it makes a nice difference in height.
Because the lamp doesn't take the whole entire
it's really
night
skinny and
stand.
small.
Well, and that's another tip for things not to feel cluttered is if everything's on the same surface, like at the same height, then it can start feeling cluttered. But if they're at different heights, then it takes your brain doesn't see it as cluttered anymore.
That's interesting. That's a good point.
Just in different places. So I think that's a great idea to put things on top of the books. Well, let's pivot slightly because we've talked a little bit about your kids' spaces. And something that I really like about them is that they don't feel plastic or temporary. And I think people struggle with that in their kids' rooms because they want something that a kid can grow with.
Yeah, so I didn't want to redecorate my kids' rooms every 3 years, and I think people start to think, oh, well, it's what the child wants, just plastic. And I don't necessarily think that's true. We talked about your home feeling like a sanctuary. Yeah. And I think that children's rooms can feel like a sanctuary to them. Yeah. Really comforting and comfortable. And so this is my son Conrad's room, and we did the room in mostly blues and browns, but you can still add some fun pieces like the pillows are playful. This was his room decorated for Christmas, and I tied the little velvet ribbons around the dogs on his light fixture.
That is so cute.
And then he has some fun things in his bookcase. You can see the little stuffed animals and books, little collections of things. His first birthday crown is in there, his little baby shoes.
Oh, so cute.
So I think it can still feel youthful and sweet but it's a room that will be able to grow with him. And over here, that it's actually a saddle holder, that metal bin.
Oh, this round piece?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And there's stuffed animals in it now to keep them, out of sight. He can dig them out and play with them. But over time, I was thinking as he gets older, maybe he can put his sweaters in that bin or his blankets, throws, things like that. So I really think that you can find pieces that grow with the children, and maybe he'll even use it in his house someday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love the wood tones in that room. It's so beautiful with the blue and white.
Yeah, it's really masculine, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the dark wood is very masculine. And then I just love the way you use wallpaper because it's not like a cutesy kids decal.
Right.
It's very like a wallpaper that feels like a toddler, but it could also feel like a teenager.
Right.
Depending on how you decorate around it.
Yeah, so we did there's dogs, kind of English looking hunting dogs maybe up on the top portion. And then below the chair rail it's hard to see there, but it's actually a herringbone. And it's kind of like it has a texture to it. It's kind of like a grass cloth.
Okay.
And so, it just added a lot of personality to his space, I think.
And I see the hunting dogs in the pattern of the wallpaper as well. Yeah, so that's kind of a great way to have a pattern that's masculine.
I love that you put a chandelier in your son's room.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have like the recessed lights or, and it's like, well, you can put a chandelier in a bedroom. It doesn't have to be just in your dining room or your entrance hall.
Right. And I think if you're worried about kids doing things to something or damaging
Swinging from the chandelier.
Yes, we did have this reinforced just in case. Two little boys.
We just don't know what they're going to do.
Happen to swing on the chandelier. I think that your walls, I should knock on wood,
Yeah, somewhere.
are pretty safe.
Yeah.
Light fixtures, draperies, any artwork that you put on the walls are pretty safe around kids. It's more their bedding, that they could damage, or the carpet. Oh my goodness, the carpet.
For sure.
So I think as long as you are focusing on the walls, you can make it feel more elevated by, doing, this is an antique, that lithograph in the corner, the painting hanging over his bed is an old one that my dad had in his office a long time ago. So it makes it feel really elevated, but it's still safe on the walls and on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then just watch out for, I would say, the carpet and your bedding. Make sure it's washable bedding.
Yeah.
And just get your carpets cleaned over time and have a plan there.
Oh yeah, we have a carpet cleaner.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Hey, it's us again.
No one's noticed. Yeah.
I love the big cabinet. Some people inherit like a china cabinet and they're like, I don't really want to put that in my dining room, or they may not have the space. This would be a great idea to take a china cabinet and turn it into a bookcase.
Best storage for a kid's room, because you can put their books up there. Like I said, little collections of things, stuffies up on top. And then in the cabinets on the bottom, I have baskets on shelves. So his little cars go in there, his little magnet tiles, puzzles.
So they're all organized by what it is.
in there. Yeah. I mean, it holds a lot. That's a great idea to use it.
Well, a lot of people don't know what to do with their antique cabinets or the china cabinets.
They're like, I don't know what I want to, they may not know where to put it.
And this is a great option. And then it gives them places, like we were talking about earlier, to put some of the things that, he plays with. He knows when you say clean up your room, he knows where to put the things and where the things
for
go.
him too, because he feels accomplished, like he's done something because he knows where things go.
Yes.
It's a great idea.
We do the little reward jar system so they can add their little tokens
cute.
and save for something. But I think there's a lot of storage options with a big cabinet or bookcase like that. And like you were talking about, that it can really grow with them, So
Because
as
he may
gets
take
older-
that away one day,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
his home. We talk about transformer furniture, or
Yes.
chameleon furniture.
The furniture that can go in different rooms of the house.
Yeah, it doesn't, like we were saying, a china cabinet doesn't have to go in a dining room. It
Right.
can go in a bedroom. Just like we've done here. We have this is a dresser that we're using as
that's
a side
beautiful.
piece.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard, I guess, working for a furniture company and everything's divvied up into like bookcases are under the office category, but like they don't, they don't have to be in an office. They could be, really anyway. They could be in your bathroom and be somewhere that you put all of your beauty products,
And little canisters, having everything like decanted nicely. That would be really pretty.
That would be.
Another thing I like in children's rooms is like a big trunk or chest. And my daughter used it, again, kind of like him, like with the stuffies. And then now she has like a little poof, and she likes to color and draw and do like her little crafts on it. And again, I think someday, eventually, it'll be sweaters and blankets and things like that.
Yeah. But something I like about this is it looks like you've created safe spaces for them, and they probably feel good about welcoming their friends into their rooms, and it's a place for them to be creative with their school friends. And now that school's back in session, just like having a place that you can entertain your kids' friends as well.
Yeah, I always want it to feel cozy. I don't want it to feel too precious. Like they can't flop on the bed if they want, or, take some coloring up and color on the floor or something. Not on the floor.
But like you can, color in a coloring book on the floor without being like yelling at your friend because they're getting too close to, it's like we still have a relaxed vibe in this house, even though we have nice things.
Homes are meant to be lived in.
Exactly. Yeah, so many people say, I can't have nice things, but I think you're showing that you can, and it can still be lived in.
And the children grow up that way. They're used to it. So they know how to treat, their surroundings.
Right.
Yeah, and I think when it's not, people used to be shocked if I would give my daughter like little real tea sets to play with. But I think when they're used to it, it's not something different, and they don't go to it and bang it on the floor or something. They kind of are used to handling it, and they know,
Like,
okay,
this
I've
is
got to be
something-
careful with that. And
Like you did with your dishes. The
the jadeite.
you were very careful with it. You knew it was special, and now it's in your adult home.
From the playhouse to the home.
To the real house.
Just like what you're saying, there's all these things that you have taken from your childhood, and that you're setting your kids up to do the same. And it is good to teach them that there are certain things that you should be careful with, and other things that you don't have to worry about as much, but like there are sacred things in life to just be like, oh, this is nice, and it doesn't mean we have to keep it away and never use it, but just treat it with care.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of sustainable, right? A lot of this, going antiquing, adding antique touches to your space is really sustainable, instead of buying tons of plastic for your children, they can learn to play with a real tea set or something that's an antique,
And the quality furniture that you have, will last for many years to come. So
Nice, not twice.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
A lot of people.
We need to like really look at our kids' rooms, and invest in those. You have, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it is sustainable, and they will have it for a very long time. So,
And people get intimidated by buying a piece that's going to last a long time because they're like, how do I even, make that happen? Like, where do I even start? It gets to be like decision overwhelm to a point. But I think people just need to remember that a lot of times the timeless basics that are just good quality, that's all you need to look for. What do you like now? And that will transition with your style as time goes on. So
Right. I mean, I think the guest room furniture is a good example of that. You could easily change that bedding. You could change everything around it, and it could become something different. But it's just, like a good solid basic that we could put in, really any bedroom.
Same with your dining room.
Yes.
The dining
Yeah.
table is a good solid basic that you can have multiple holiday looks throughout the year around, and it's still, it complements all of those different aesthetics well.
Totally. It's your base.
So do you feel like comfort is the new luxury? Or how do you think comfort is the new luxury? Because I feel like you're going to say yes.
What is the new luxury?
Yeah.
I think, we were talking about sustainability a little bit and having a space that's, you've like curated, you've feathered your home, and it really shows your personality. And I think that's kind of something that I see happening a lot lately, people talking about that and how to give a space like its own personality, its own character, whether it's color or some collections they've curated or some heirlooms they have. That's what I see. That's what I've noticed, just that lived in space with a lot of personality.
Right. It makes you comfortable, makes your guests comfortable knowing like who you are, but it also gives you a place to be where you don't feel like you need to leave. Like I can stay in the comfort of home and feel like I have what I need on most days. Like everybody needs that third space once in a while, but I think having your home ready to welcome in your life and to live your life in is comfort.
Don't you think people are hosting a little bit more?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like people are hosting more, having dinners at home. And I almost wonder if it's, I don't know if anybody in your circle or maybe you have gotten into sourdough and things like that.
Yeah.
I see people are like making these custom coffees at home and things. I feel like people are really getting into that and inviting people in, like, let's grab a coffee and then we'll go on a walk together. Or
they're just celebrating life.
Yes.
And just, enjoying their friends.
It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It speaks to the creativity that you uniquely have when you're able to create that treat for yourself. I know, a lot of sourdough in my circle for sure.
Right? But it's so
it's
nice.
great. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And maybe too, during the pandemic, nobody could come to your house. I mean,
that's
they could,
true.
but most people were off in their homes.
Yes.
And so now we're just like, you know what? I want to have my friends over. I want to just have tea, and I want to have that in my dining room.
Yes.
So
Having like those special moments.
Yeah.
I think that's a luxury in and of itself.
Oh,
is creating special moments. That's right. 2026 should be all about special moments and using your dining room.
Yeah, maybe so. Or whatever space that you don't use enough, or china or pieces you don't use enough.
The china.
Bring
it does
it
not
out.
have to go. It doesn't need to just come out once a year.
Yeah.
Bring it out to eat a sandwich on.
I was recently at a lunch and someone said she was talking about using the silver flatware that she had gotten from her grandmother or something. And I said, but isn't it such a pain to clean, And she said, I just throw it in the dishwasher.
Oh, wow.
She said, I
And
throw
it
it in the
cleans
dishwasher.
up.
She is my hero.
Yeah. She's like, I want to use it. It makes me think of my grandmother. And I'm going to throw it in the dishwasher.
Yeah, because that's what works with my life.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be so precious with it because then I'll never use it. Yeah.
I think that's great.
No, me too. And just like kind of creating like what are the things that people can look forward to, like almost like an activity when people come to your house. I think you did a great job in a lot of those photos of just having a theme and something people can connect to. One of my things too this year is asking better questions. So just like creating a space for people to connect is great.
I like that. There's those like game or like little cards that have the questions on it. You can put out on the table and like people can go through with a glass of wine or something, or mahjong. A lot of people are playing bridge and mahjong.
Yeah,
I've seen that come around.
Yeah.
Games are a great way to connect. And we've talked a little bit about just creating a space when you invite people to your home, instead of impressing them, focus more on welcoming them.
Yes. I think that's a huge part of it. Isn't it?
Yeah, because then people are going to feel comfortable to relax and have good conversation and connect and make memories, instead of being like, what can I touch and what can't I?
Yeah.
So
your home, you've done a really good job of creating this beautiful environment. but it's also very warm and welcoming. It's not standoffish.
So one of our favorite ways to close out conversations is just rapid fire, just quick questions, and you give a quick yes or no answer. So floral sofas, are they timeless or risky?
Timeless. Mario Buada, chins, like I love that vibe.
Okay. Skirted sinks, yes or no?
100%. I love a skirted sink.
Yeah.
So it
Mario
adds
Buada?
yeah, exactly. Like a nice stripe, exactly. Like a nice stripe though, or a gingham. It's so nice. It adds such a nice softness to a space.
Can hide things, can elevate
Yes,
spaces. Antiques, splurge or save?
Both, I think. I think you can go both. If you find like a nice like 4-poster bed that's a really great piece and it's a little spendy, but that's well worth it maybe. But also one thing that my husband and I have done, we look for antique auctions that they market to antique shops.
Oh.
So the prices are fantastic, right? Because they have to mark it up to sell anyway. One of our favorite things to buy is artwork at an antique auction like that. One of my husband's favorite pieces is this oil painting of Marseille. And it was right after we had gone there and we found it at this auction.
It's meant to be.
I want to say it was $150.
Oh,
this
wow.
giant gilt frame, like beautiful. It's a great find.
Yeah.
Yeah. So save and splurge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pattern mixing, is there a rule you swear by?
I think as long as it's in that same color palette, you can really go crazy. Do like a stripe, do a gingham or a check, a floral. As long as it's in the same color palette, it looks really nice.
Okay. What's one design element every home needs?
Oh my goodness. I would say something floral, but I would say, a nice rug
Yeah.
is really great. That's a great place to start, I think.
Truly, literally grounds things.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some nice rugs and the rest of our furniture, like some of the pieces that need to be upholstered, they kind of, you don't really notice it as much because you have a great rug.
It's like a piece of art.
Yeah.
Sets the stage.
Yeah. Art also is one. Art, a great rug.
Right. Just knowing where to save and where to splurge.
Yeah.
Well, it's been so fun talking to you today. I think we've gotten so many good takeaways. There's something for everyone in this conversation about how to make their house a home and a place that they love. So we're just really glad that you were here to contribute.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. It's been so fun.
Where can people find you going forward?
I'm on Instagram, Brittany Pillard, and also on TikTok. I'm just kind of starting to experiment with TikTok a little bit.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
It's a never-ending experiment.
Yeah. It's a very addictive though.
Yeah.
I find myself getting lost on there more than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And Pinterest. Yeah.
Pinterest. Yeah. That definitely, can take some space. But you're good at incorporating your own style in still.
Yeah.
Not just making it overly Pinteresty.
Yeah. I think so.
Well, I can't wait to see your mud room that you're designing.
Yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll
I
have
want
to
to
see
that.
photos in the future, do a little follow-up.
The piano room with the reupholstered chairs. That's on the list. My husband said I can't go another Christmas with the same chandelier and unupholstered chairs. So I'm on a time
So we'll
crunch.
get to see that.
Yes.
Good.
That's great. He gave you an assignment.
Yeah.
It's very
Yes.
specific.
I have a timeline.
Yeah, I kind of like that with creativity. I need a timeline and an assignment.
As a Pisces, I can kind of be like a little dreamy. Like I had these swatches of fabric
Yeah.
laid out on the chairs that needed upholstered for months.
Yeah.
And I
same.
just kind of forgot about it. I was just like, oh, it's just how it is now, And my husband, who's a Virgo, that really stresses him out.
Yeah,
So like
he
the
wants the
dreaminess
concrete.
is kind of, he's like, we need a concrete date. Let's work on this.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm a Pisces too. I need guardrails or else I could just dream forever.
Totally.
That's my weakness is getting lost in dreamland.
Yeah.
My imagination is too colorful.
Yeah.
Which I'm
Same.
sure you can relate to. Yeah. Again, so glad you were here, and so glad everybody got to get this wisdom from our great Grand Millennial conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
See everybody next time.